So chapter 18, we jump in with the story of Abraham and his wife Sarah. And keep in mind, let's set the stage here that here's the Mediterranean Sea. We're looking now at a horizontal view of the land. And then you get the Holy Land that is shaped kind of like this. So this would be sea level here at the coastline. And then you come up, Jerusalem is sitting right here, just on the westward side of the Mount of Olives. When you pop over the top of the Mount of Olives, or Mount Scopus to the north, any of those, and you start coming down into the Jordan River Valley, it is a totally different climate and flora and fauna here compared to this side.
Right, you got the rain shadow, so it will rain here, and it is like one of the driest deserts down in this region. You head north up to the Galilee, it's beautiful, it's fresh. I mean, just giving 75 miles, it's very different ecological environments. But this is kind of the howling wilderness where Jesus went for 40 days.
That's right. So as you come clear down here, you're going to end up at negative 1,300 feet below sea level when you get to the Dead Sea. It would win the limbo competition. How low can you go on the earth? That's as low as you can go. There's nowhere else on planet Earth where you can physically walk at a lower elevation than around the Dead Sea. And in fact, today, it's even lower because the Dead Sea is dying, shall we say. It's drying up even more. It's not being replenished.
And briefly, the reason is there's such a growing population in the Middle East, right? Water is essential. And so more and more people are drawing water out of the Jordan River, and it's not flowing into the Dead Sea. But the Jordan River is making the desert to blossom as a rose.
That's right.
At the cost of the Dead Sea.
That's right. So based on that, now that is your horizontal view. If we were to look at a map from the satellite view now, you have Jerusalem right here, and the Mount of Olives, that the ridge line here, and then all of this part here is this steep decline down into the Dead Sea area, or what we would call the Jordan River Valley. So the reason for all of this is to set the stage for today's lesson. Remember that when Abraham and Sarah came out of Egypt with Lot and his family and his household, they came into here, and that's when they realized, you know what, we can't live in the same place. We need to divide. And Abraham allowed Lot to make the choice, and Lot chose this Jordan River Valley side. Not the desert part, but down in the plains. They call Sodom and Gomorrah the cities of the plains. And it is a very, very fertile area here with this Jordan River flowing through there, and very beautiful land.
I'll point out that anthropologists have actually discovered that probably the oldest city in the world is Jericho. And it seems like that food production, or at least the domestication of plants, seems to happen right here in this region. So if Lot is looking for a great place where there's plenty of fertile land to grow almost any crop you could want, that's the place. Because you come up here, or even on this side, it's a tough place. Maybe you can do some olive orchards and maybe some shepherding, but there's not a lot going on over here.
So now, we've set the stage. You know that Abraham and his wife living on this side are being visited in the beginning of chapter 18 by three men. If you look at verse 1, the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre as he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And so he looks up and he sees three men standing by him, and he runs to them, and he provides everything that they would need: food, drink, sit in the shade of the tree because it's the heat of the day, and he takes care of their needs. And then they have this conversation with him about his wife conceiving and having a son. Well, look at verse 9. They said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now, verse 11 is a very important verse for understanding this story. Now, Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. The childbearing years have passed for her. But don't you love the next part here? Verse 12, therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? The word here, she laughed. There's this fun word in the Hebrew that means laughter and rejoicing. And the word, as Taylor has said multiple times, the lesson is in the name. Well, 9 months later, they're going to have a little baby boy, and they're going to name him Laughter and Rejoicing, Isaac. I love verse 14, when the Lord said unto Abraham, verse 14, is anything too hard for the Lord? To me, there's a beautiful connection to that first chapter of Luke in the New Testament, where Luke is telling you the story of Zacharias and Elizabeth. And very similar, old couple, well stricken in years, past the childbearing years, and Zacharias is told that his wife will conceive and bear a son, and it doesn't make any sense. So the phrase Luke uses there is, for with God, nothing shall be impossible. Yeah, there's no earthly explanation as to why she should be able to have a child at this age, but with God, that's not hard.